Hello, welcome to AdAlta, and thank you for joining us today. My name's Tim Oldham. I'm the CEO and Managing Director, and I'll be guiding you through an update on our progress towards some really exciting opportunities to improve outcomes for some desperately ill patients. AdAlta is working hard to build our clinical stage pipeline. This is key to unlocking the value in our assets, and the real benefit of a clinical stage pipeline is that this is the progress of these pipelines is what's reflected in our share price. AdAlta is a company that aims to go where traditional antibody drugs cannot. We develop next-generation protein and cell therapeutics against debilitating diseases that are intractable or suboptimally addressed by traditional antibody drug therapies. We use our iBody platform to enable this in our discovery business, and as the assets advance into clinical trials, we create or are creating subsidiaries that are capable of taking both public and private capital to optimize our ability to finance these more expensive stages of development. AdSolus is our flagship subsidiary developing our new approach to fibrotic diseases using AD214, our most advanced asset in phase 1, through phase 1 clinical trials now. And AdCella is our new business unit focused on what we call our east to west cellular immunotherapy strategy, tapping into the incredible innovation that's happening in cellular immunotherapies in Asia to bring some of these incredible technologies into the hands and veins of patients in Western markets. So let's talk about AdSolus and AD214. The need we are attempting to address here is exemplified by Bill Van Nierop. Bill is one of the really rare survivors, one of the very few of the 500,000 patients around the world today living with a debilitating fibrotic disease called IPF. IPF results in stiffening of the lungs and inhibition of your ability to breathe. It is a progressive and degenerative disease that will ultimately kill the vast majority of patients who suffer from it in about 4 to 5 years post-diagnosis. Bill survived only because he was able to obtain a double lung transplant. Importantly, we spend $5 billion a year on therapeutics to treat IPF, and they don't work particularly well. In fact, they have debilitating side effects that prevent most patients tolerating them for more than a year, and they add perhaps a year of life expectancy. We desperately need new therapies to treat IPF and, by extension, a range of other fibrotic diseases that affect almost every other organ system in the body and ultimately lead to organ failure and death. AD214 is our solution to this problem. We've built a compelling value proposition over many years, developing a first-in-class molecule, which means it can be used in combination with every other therapeutic on the pipeline. We have demonstrated preclinical efficacy in multiple animal models of fibrotic disease. This significantly de-risks our clinical studies, and our preclinical program has been particularly appealing to pharmaceutical companies. We've successfully completed our phase 1 clinical trials. We've established a clinically viable dosing regimen, both intravenously and the potential to make that even more convenient through a subcutaneous administration. And we have strong intellectual property position around this asset. We're currently working with a range of potential partners and strategic financiers to invest or license AD214 to progress a parallel development strategy of intravenous AD214 in a phase 2 program, parallel development of more convenient subcutaneous development and formulation that will enable us, if successful, to move that subcutaneous formulation into phase 3. We're well advanced in a number of conversations to finance and partner AD214. We've been able to now establish our clinical advisory board with 4 eminent IPF physicians to help us guide AD214 into those phase 2 clinical trials. We've also appointed a consultant chief medical officer to AdSolus who has experience in the approval and post-marketing support of both the marketed drugs for IPF today, and we're really looking forward to some really exciting news on this asset in the near future. The asset is worth a significant amount, as you can see from the transactions that have been conducted through the last 5 or so years in IPF assets. And so we believe that a successful transaction or financing of AD214 is going to significantly unlock unrealized value in AdAlta. Turning to AdCella and our east to west cellular immunotherapy strategy, cancer continues to be a difficult and intractable disease for many, many people. Therapies have got better over the years, but relapse still results in effectively a death sentence for many, many people, too many people, in fact. CAR T-cell therapies and cellular immunotherapies generally are changing that landscape. We're now able to engineer a patient's own immune cells to be able to find and fight cancer. This is a living drug that's potentially curative in just a single dose. The outcomes in blood cancers have been phenomenal. The opportunity is in the 90% of solid cancers, for which we're only just starting to see the first cellular immunotherapies approved. AdAlta aims to operate through its AdCella subsidiary in this field. What we're aiming to do is harness the incredible innovation that's happening in this field across Asia. More than 60% of clinical trials happening in the cellular immunotherapy field are happening in Asia today, and specifically in China. More than 40% of companies developing these therapies are located in the region as well. On top of that, Australia has an incredible cell therapy ecosystem. It's deeply experienced in administering these CAR T-cell and related therapies, and has world-class manufacturing capabilities. Our opportunity is to help bring those assets out of Asian innovators where they already have generated clinical data de-risking further clinical trials, to establish a manufacturing process in a Western regulated environment, to conduct what essentially is a repeat clinical study under a US Food and Drug Administration clinical trial approval, and that will significantly add value to the asset, enabling us then to partner it on to larger biopharmaceutical companies for pivotal studies in Europe and North America. The opportunity we have is to invest in that phase 1 clinical trial as a buy-in, if you like, to the economic return on that asset. That helps both us minimize our upfront payments and risk, and it helps our partners because they are able to ride the increase in value that establishing that Western base for their assets represents. We're delighted that we've now been able to sign our first non-binding term sheet for the first asset to enter the AdCella pipeline. This enables us to conduct detailed confirmatory due diligence to ensure that the value we've seen so far is indeed there, and is also enabling us to engage more proactively with additional financiers to help us fund the AdCella opportunity, working alongside our existing partners, Cell Therapies Proprietary Limited for manufacturing, and Synthesis Bioventures, who seed funding AdCella with us. So if we look forward to our near-term milestones, the key focus is on transactions in our AdSolus and AdCella businesses. We are negotiating multiple term sheets. The first AdCella term sheet has been executed, as I just mentioned. We've also expanded our organisation in both business units to help support the movement and advancement of those programs into the clinic. We also continue to have our iBody platform available for discovery against new targets. We've consciously slowed activity in that space while we focus on the transaction opportunities in our first 2 key strategies. So as an investment opportunity, we think AdAlta is worth a look. AdSolus's lead asset, AD214, is heading into phase 2 clinical trials, addressing a $4+ billion IPF market, plus additional fibrotic indications. The partnering and strategic financing window is very definitely open for this molecule, as we work to secure the financing necessary to move this into phase 2 clinical trials without our existing shareholders having to finance that. We're gaining significant momentum in our AdCella east to west cellular immunotherapy strategy, which ensures that we will have a clinical stage pipeline coming in behind AD214. We have an experienced team and network that's expanding, as we've just discussed, across both business units to help execute. We've got a strong and supportive institutional investor base that continues to support our efforts, and we have a really attractive valuation at just around 12 to 15 million Australian dollars today, relative to the commercial potential of our pipeline. For further information, please visit our website, our Investor Hub, or contact either myself or our colleagues at the Capital Network. We look forward to further discussions with you and happy to answer any questions you may have either through our Investor Hub portal or directly by email. Thank you very much.